Thank you, Brother Sam. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. You know, it was so hot in Castries today. And when I left Castries to come to Sulphur City, when I was descending into Soufriere, the temperature changed. So that's why I was standing away from the crowd. But I was provoked to come to speak to you this evening. And because I was a scout, and our motto was be prepared, I'm always prepared to speak to you, my brothers and sisters. But before I deliver my brief remarks, I want to recognize the political leader of our great party and Prime Minister who has kept this country going. I want to, of course, recognize the deputy political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party and the Member of Parliament for Dennery North, the Honorable Sean Edward. Sister Emma Hippolyte, who has been getting many accolades this evening. I cannot say the same, but certainly I associate myself with homage being paid to Sister Emma Hippolyte as a serious MP and as a serious Minister of Government. I want to recognize Minister Virginia Albert Poyot, Member of Parliament for Babono. I see next to her the Minister for Agriculture and the MP for Dennery South. And I normally tease my brother from Castries Southeast and call him Nebuchadnezzar or Caiaphas the High Priest. We even parle Bib, so on parle langage Bib aussi. My colleague from Ancillary Canaries, Brother Wayne Girard. Senator Gibeon Ferdinand. And I cannot pronounce that surname, but I'll try. Senator Giahir. Am I doing well? About 25% for the pronunciation of a term. I want to recognize, of course, other distinguished personalities of this August Assembly, Chairman of the constituency and the executive. And there is a champion, a master strategist that I must acknowledge, and that is the great Sam Ogier in the House. My brothers and my sisters of Soufriere, good evening again. Before I take off, Moblier Matoa Mem. He was my neighbor in the parliament and in cabinet, the great Harold Dalson. My brothers and my sisters, the presence of so many people from Soufriere indicates one thing: that you are grateful to the St. Lucia Labour Party for the many interventions in your life. You are happy to be out of UWP. But UWP all over the place in St. Lucia and overseas, pretending as if they were not the ones who destroyed our country. They all hot and sweaty all over the place. We should do this and we should do that for the poor people of this country. When Flambeau was in government, they didn't know about poor people of the country. You must care when you're in government to implement the policies that you espouse in the manifesto and on platform. It was the very same Alan Shastney and UWP that we were gasping for air and sucking salt during COVID because the hundreds of millions of dollars that they gave for income support went to the FFF empire. and you were suffering in this country. And sometimes they pretend it wasn't them. May your mem killer. Your mem killer. And they're all in New York now trying to mobilize people, pleading tearfully for restored confidence in the failed policies. The trickle-down economics that has failed all over the world. And then you hear them today saying, oh, gas prices are high, and VAT, bring down VAT to help the poor people. When the Labour Party implemented VAT, over 100 items were zero rated or exempted. They are already at zero. Other countries in the region, to try to give relief, they bring it down. We have nothing to bring down because that's zero. When they brought down VAT to 12.5%, it was not to benefit the poor people. It was to benefit those who were importing expensive items into this country, and they needed to give their friends a break on the VAT. It wasn't for you. We took care of you when we implemented VAT. There were no VAT on most of the items that you purchase at the supermarket. And then they're all over the place asking for relief. During COVID, Alan Chastanet and Flabo, in some instances, made over $4 in the excise tax on fuel. Over $4, although we said it was $4. That was the ceiling. And today, they want to pretend that they care about you. They're asking the Labour Party to do this and to do that. It was because of their recklessness. They plunged our country into recession before COVID. And during COVID, St. Lucia's economy contracted the most in the OECS, 24.4%. And the people of this country decided enough was enough. And we hammered them out of office to replace the UWP with a wise and frugal government. Without any Madipwete. Without any Madipwete. What has this Prime Minister and Minister for Finance done in this country? Subsidized gas for $9 million and growing since July 2021. Forgo revenue of $22.9 million on petroleum imports to protect consumers. You see, we try to keep the price of fuel, what we have control over, up to a certain level, because if we allow it to go above the roof, when the trucks that bring goods to Soufriere and other areas come with those goods, if fuel prices are beyond what we are controlling, you'd have to pay a higher price for the goods that you're going to bring to you. We removed the 6% service charge on price control items. It means that the price of those goods in the supermarket, government is not making a cent to bring relief to you, to ease the squeeze on the people of this country, absorb increases in the price of flour, sugar, and rice at $9.8 million without a Madipwete. One-off payment of $500 to pensioners at a cost of $1.5 million. Implementing increase of 1% to public servants despite the war in Ukraine, despite the fact that we're just coming out of COVID-19, an amount of $4.5 million per annum, making sure that public servants get their 1% increase without a Madipwete. 4.2% increase to NIC pensioners to give them more disposable income so that they can ride the storm properly. Waiver of tuition fees for students. Waiver of CXC fees in math and English. And we reinstated the laptop program. You remember the official policy was that keep going on your side. That was the official laptop policy of UWP. But when COVID hit, they were asking everybody to bring in old laptops and this and that. Even toy laptops, they asked people to bring in to fool the children of this country. J'étais toy ba qui pas toi va qui ni gloire de yo ka di men nous ka bay se le bali mais nous ni l'esprit pay yo. All of that without a madipwete. Now, we can return to the period of Flambeau when we couldn't breathe. When you couldn't get any relief or stay with your party. As we reconstruct the economy of this country and rebuild St. Lucia and rebuild the lives of the people of St. Lucia. The Labour Party belongs to you. That is our party. The party of bread, justice, and freedom. If it stumbles and falls, nous pouillons ça. Bal fini, violon ça. The war in Ukraine will not last forever. Getting out of COVID will not last forever. And all I can say to you, that the aircraft of the Labour Party is climbing steadily despite the turbulence. And when we get to level flight, we will now go in the cabin and distribute to you, my brothers and sisters. But the party belongs to us. St. Lucia belongs to us. And we must ensure that Flambeau never re-emerges from the ashes of time. You know, there are times, nous kadi tikou zenou, papa nou, nous leba, me tikou zenou kamonte. My mother, c'est madame, l'aime lever li oswe konti mamay. C'est lui qui était là pour battre pour take care of moi. Si jamais monte bay Flambeau, il pouille ça, pape moi. I love my mother, my friends, my relatives. But if you have no respect for me by telling me to come and support UWP because you decide to be a candidate, to take my people into a period of suffering and frustration, you cannot be patriotic, and you cannot love me, and you cannot love St. Lucia. Flambeau must never re-emerge from the ashes of time. And so I ask of you tonight, stick to the path to the promised land. Una manière, les baviniers qui ont mangé là, à cause de nous sans spetaya, un katay ek mak rims ek se Flambeau, ek low in a flat, ou kapon nou kon sperme de nou until you get to the next gas station. Well, there are no gas station along that path again. No more. Do not treat your party like a spare. That when they mess things up, you take in labor to clean up the mess. And as soon as we clean up the mess, we bring in Flambeau for Flambeau to take the fruits of our labor and give it to their friends. So since they told me it was brief remarks, I want to keep the promise by being briefer than expected. And so, my brothers and sisters, long live the people of Sulphur City. Long live the government of the St. Lucia Liberty. Long live the patriots of St. Lucia, sons and daughters of St. Lucia who love the land that gave us birth. Thank you and good night, my brothers and sisters.
You heard it all. Round of applause for the brother one more time, please. And if Brother Alva was brief, I will ask the ambassador to be briefer.